Hi Aquarius, welcome to your reading for the week of March 31st or whenever this resonates. Obviously, this is not going to be for everybody within the collective, and it may not be for everybody today. It may show up relevant later. The first thing that I saw when I was getting ready for this, before I actually sat down to do it, was I saw you on a black and white checkered floor, and you were counting off your footsteps, like, 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, as though you were trying to measure things out. And that was the feeling that I got with this, was that you were trying to be analytical about something that has got the potential to be good for you, helpful for you, make changes for you, but you're not quite sure how to factor in all the angles, okay? Then I forgot about that. As I sat down here and was doing my prayers and meditation, and I was calling on my guides to help me with the reading for the collective, I started getting this beautiful, intense, violety purple energy come in for you. And what they were showing me then was you on a chessboard. Now I'm going, oh yeah, okay, the black and white squares that I was seeing earlier. But they're showing me that you were on a chessboard and you're looking around and you're trying to figure it out. And what they're here to tell you is a few things. One is, please do not forget that they are there and they are helping you to move around the chessboard, and they are helping to nudge you in what direction there is to play. One direction there is to play. That makes sense. What direction, what movement is in your best interest to make? But what they also want you to understand, please, is that trying to figure it out too much can give you this sense of almost paralysis. And that feels like where you're at right now. Like there might be a little bit of, you've been high, you've been excited, you've been having all of this creative insight and inspiration, but now it's almost like the practicality of applying this in the real world has kind of got you a little bit disheartened, I would say. I won't say stumped, but maybe a little bit disheartened. So the message that started coming through before I actually pulled the cards was the fact that there are two things that can do this for you. One is that you're very able, Aquarius, to parcel your emotions and put them away in a box over here, and then just deal with this. We've talked about this before. And what can happen when you do that is you're not taking a global holistic view. At that point, what you're doing is you're just targeting your psychological mind at something, and you're forgetting that you have access to all this other energy to help guide you, that the very energy that allows you to come up with these great, wonderful ideas and projects also has the capacity to guide you where you want to go. Now, the other thing is, because you can get so high and so excited about it, you forget to ground. And when you're not grounded, this is important, Aquarius. When you're not grounded, it's difficult for you to realize when you're overstretching, when you are taking yourself beyond what is actually good for you, which can throw you into a state of imbalance. And then you have to find a way to rebalance, then get back to that, and then try to start again from there. So part of what your big lesson in all of this at this point in time, Aquarius, is to remember that the grounding is not something you do once a week. The grounding is something you do every day, because that is what is going to allow this great creative energy and this great intuitive access that you really have at this point to really inform your decisions, to help keep you in a state of balance and knowing when you're exceeding your limits. And the thing is, Aquarius, you can really exceed your limits quite easily without realizing you're doing it. And then you can get into a state of either overwhelm or fatigue, which leads to that sense of, well, what do I do now? And feeling almost powerless in it, like you can't. Okay? I can't put up with it. You can't do it any longer. It's like that sense of like, now all of a sudden movement feels like an impossibility or a burden, or figuring it out does. But the energy that was coming in, what I really want you to get from this is that there's a very, very high spiritual energy that is coming for you, that is looking over this chessboard. And that is like, literally, it's almost like I see it going, okay, just this way, just, okay, breathe this way, just go over there. And in fact, what you've got here in the cards, as I pulled them, is quite beautiful, because what the cards are saying, and I believe this is definitely Spirit speaking through the cards, is to maintain a calm focus. That is one of the ways, it sounds counterintuitive, but it's one of the ways that you do stay grounded, is by deliberately intending a calm focus and noticing when your mind is scattering out to all these ideas. Go, okay, that's all energy. Your mind with all of its thoughts, it's energy that you're dispersing, and it's very exhausting when it's based in indecision and trying to juggle a whole bunch of variables that you can't really define, or you're not really fully understanding. So the idea is, okay, when you're noticing that you're getting ungrounded, out of your body, anxious, worried, disheartened, go, okay, where is the energy of my mind going? Let me bring it in. And I imagine it coming in like this, okay? So all of these thoughts, no, I'm just bringing it right now to the center. I'm bringing it to the center. I'm bringing all that energy in. I'm not going to worry about what the thoughts are. I'm just going to, for this moment, remember that all of those thoughts are bleeding energy. And now I'm going to bring the energy in here to the center. I'm going to let that energy be like a fine pointed laser beam, rather than one of those batteries that just goes everywhere, or a floodlight. Okay? So it's a quiet, calm laser beam, and we're going to let now, remember that when you bring it into the center, you're also in observer mode, which is a higher frequency, and you're more balanced because you're coming deliberately to center. You're not bouncing back and forth between imagination, possibility, intuition, logic, figuring. You're bringing it to center. And as you bring it to center, your nervous system calms and you have more access to integrated brain work. Okay? Now, the other thing that is going to be good for you, my very dear Scorpios, is whatever else you do in terms of walking on the earth, getting in nature, doing breathing exercises, which actually is here. It's asking you to breathe. The other thing that is really good for you is something called Craws. And it's something that you can look up in Brain Gym. You can look it up on YouTube. Craws, CROSS, or look up Cook's Hookups, which is also a part of the Brain Gym. They're very, very simple exercises. There's some that you can do all of the Cook's Hookups. You can do just part of it, but the whole idea is we want you to be starting to integrate left and right brain more. That's going to be very powerful for you, Aries. I didn't know I was going to say that. This is definitely something I'm getting for you now, okay? Now, I'll try to remember to put that in the description, but if I forget, ask me in the comments, okay? Brain Gym, Craws, Cook's Hookups, they're brilliant. They're easy, and it's a wonderful way to bring your energy into center, which is part of the thing that is going to really help you, Aquarius, especially right now. You can go so high with your excitement, but get so ungrounded. What we really want is for you to be balanced in a way where you can really bring that excitement into a grounded perspective and let it seep out into the world in a wonderful way. Again, you've got this really high spiritual energy, this beautiful purpley violety light that is overseeing everything for you. And the more you can remember to ground, the more you're going to have access to that. Feel it, know it. You are being asked also, please, to notice your choices, which means being aware of what your mind is doing. Okay, so be aware of where your mind is. Notice when you are starting to move into disheartened feelings, doubts, hopelessness, frustrations. Notice what your thoughts are and what can you choose instead? Because part of what this is all about for all of us, and especially you right now, is learning to tune into your feelings, because that's going to tell you where your mind is, and choosing, therefore, where you can put your mind, because it is a choice. And again, it is something that we're learning to do. It is something that is progressive in terms of changing habitual emotional choices. And that's part of the work. And you can do it because you are strong-minded. You just got to start figuring how to use that mind slightly differently with a few updates. Okay? And you are being also told, breathe. Make sure that you are putting the energy on the inhale and really softening on the exhale. I also really encourage you to explore different kinds of breath work, because it's so powerful in connecting you to your higher conscious mind and for calming your nervous system. And also moving the tissues in the body in a way where some of the old patterns that have been held physically in your body get to release too, because we want to get it on every level so it doesn't seep in from another one and just kind of create everything else. Okay? Lean into that softened sense of being held, being taken care of, that sense of maternal guarding, okay? Caring, tenderness. It may mean getting in touch with the yin energy for you. That might be where you need to balance, because you can be, in spite of all of your beauty and your flair and your creativity, which is something we would normally associate with a yin energy. You can be very yang in the way you approach things. Okay, very, for lack of a better explanation, male and female. Yin being female, yang being more male, but yang being more logical and directed, yin being more receptive and more creative. So that's really how male and female is kind of outdated, but there you go. There you have it. I'm going to stop now. Okay, neutrality. Notice your choices, calm focus, breathe, neutrality, and remember, this goes along with them showing me them looking down on the chessboard. And remember that you have angels everywhere. You are being divinely guided, Aquarius. You are being divinely guided. Okay, my dears? Take care.